your hours. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Is this under prepare?
Yes. Thank you. And none of you have been to this one before, have done this workshop, right? Okay, cool. All right, well, I think we're gonna get started. I think it's just us. I can introduce myself. My name is Emily. You guys know me. I'm a first year MPA student. Yeah, that's about it. I started here like 3 months ago. This is my second Grad 2021 workshop that I've done. And I wanted to present this just because I just recently went through the graduate application process, and I thought that I compiled some tips and some information that I thought would be helpful to other people who are also about to go through the process or will be going through the process. So I'd like to start by first going around the room. Tell me your name and also tell me what you hope to get out of this workshop. So we'll start here.
I'm Jocelyn. I want to learn how to fly.
Okay. Oh, sorry, major also.
Communicative.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Jamlet, but I go with Jam. My major is kinesiology, and I also hope to learn more about how to apply to grad school.
My name is Mauricio. My major is kinesiology and applied to grad school.
Yeah, awesome.
Hi, my name is Nancy. I'm also a comm disorders major, and I hope to learn how to fly to grad.
Common theme.
My name is Victoria. I'm a communication disorders major, and I hope to learn more about how to organize booking dates and all that.
Oh, nice.
My name is Teresa. I'm a comm disorders major, and what I hope to get out of this workshop is how to create a timeline when applying to grad school.
Great. So yeah, we'll go over actually all of those things. We have a timeline, have some tips on organization. So things that this presentation will cover. How to find the right graduate school for you. There's a lot of options. How to get through the application process. What to expect as you're applying. What to know and how to prepare for the next step of your academic career. So research. This is the first step. Researching what school you want to go to. As you guys know, the Allied Health Academy focuses on the 6 tracks: social work, public health, counseling, communicative disorders, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. We have our linkage programs here on the link, but also one thing that I wanted to mention, you guys might have it, I made a core values sheet. I don't know if you guys have looked at it, but It's this right here. I sent it in the group meet. These are the allied health profession mission and core values. So as you're looking at this, yeah, you guys can have them. You can start thinking about, as you're researching schools, what schools really hold those core values and what school is going to be best for you and is going to have a strong program in your future career. Utilizing search engines. So personally, when I was looking for Masters of Public Health programs, I used the Council of Education for Public Health website. And on that website, I was able to go in a search engine and write Masters of Public Health, and I was able to input the states that I wanted to look at the programs, and concentration, like health promotion, health behavior, global health. And that actually made it really easy for me to see what programs and what schools had certification and that were going to be good for me. So here are just a few examples of some professional accreditation sites. You know, American Physical Therapy Association, American Occupational Therapy Association. The one that I use, Council of Education for Public Health, and Council of Social Work Education. So another tip that I have is to connect. As you're researching, you know, different graduate schools, for me personally, and I think this can go for anybody who's applying, is to look at just the different faculty, look at the quality of the program, maybe find out if you know people or, you know, of a friend who has gone to the program, or even looking on LinkedIn sometimes it's helpful, and reaching out to people who have already graduated. The location of the school, depending on whether you decide to stay in-state or out of state, that's important. I decided to come to California, so I'm an out-of-state student. But I wanted to come to California. So like I said, while I was researching my schools, I made sure to find a program that was in this state. Cost is very important, you know, depending on your financial aid. Just finding out, reaching out, every program will have like a find more information page, or enter your email and we'll send you more information about the program. I would definitely suggest that. School culture is also another one, a big one. I personally wanted to see how big my MPH cohort was going to be. Some programs have cohorts that are like 60 to 70 people. Cal State Fullerton's cohort is 22 people this year. So for me, that was really important. And I also wanted to make sure that the faculty and the students have like a close relationship. So that's something. Like I mentioned before, do not be scared or like hesitate to contact these programs and these schools for more information. I am the type of person that if I can't find the information online, I will immediately contact someone, and that's, you know, if it's not presentable, you really gotta do your research and want to find out. So as I mentioned before, explore all of your options in the schools. A little bit of organization. I had a spreadsheet with all the schools, all the due dates, how much the application was going to be, how much the GRE, to send the scores to the GRE. So that was helpful for me. I also used a planner for due dates and stuff like that. But as you're scheduling, make sure that you take a campus tour. I've been to schools before where I've even gone through the orientation and I'm like, not what I wanted to do. It just depends on, you know, how you feel when you get there. You might get there and not like it. You might get there and you might love it and make the decision right away. Reaching out to professors that are working there, reaching out to current grad students. So for example, like if you're interested in the Masters of Public Health program, I'm a good resource because I'm already in the program. John is a second year in the program. So just kind of, you know, networking. Grad school applications are expensive. I know it says can't be, but they are expensive. They just are. I would definitely check to see if there's waiver options. Sometimes, you know, if you're low income or if you just ask, they're able to waive the application fee. So, general requirements to applying to graduate school. I'm sure you guys already know some of these. Just wanted to put them out there. You know, completion of bachelor's degree, Generally, a cumulative GPA of 3.0, which is the average. Some programs will have a 2.8, but then some really competitive programs like communicative disorders will only look at students with a 3.7 GPA or higher. So really keep that into consideration as you're looking, and keep that into consideration right now as you're still in your undergrad to keep up your GPA for sure. And personal statement, you guys know we do have some workshops on personal statements and stuff like that. You will need 2 to 3 academic or professional letters of recommendation. Every program will be different. Some will be specific, like the occupational therapy and physical therapy. They require letters from a licensed OT or PT. I think at least one or two. So you do need to check on that. Current resume, of course, or CV, official transcripts from your undergrad, GRE score, sometimes not required, but usually is. Fee reduction is available once again. And of course, a school application form and the fee again. So a few tips from me. Don't be intimidated by the process. I know that I was like so scared. I came back from Spain and I landed and I knew I was like, okay, I got to start my application process. And it was just, I kept procrastinating and kind of like left it for the last minute. And one thing that I would recommend is to not do that, because there's so many components of the graduate school application. And, I'll go through some of them a little bit more, like, asking for the letters of rec and just even the GRE scores to come in take a while. So definitely don't be intimidated. It's doable. You just got to stay organized. Being part of Allied Health Academy has already made you a stronger candidate. We are all here resources to help you guys and help you get through it. We've all been there. So another tip is to, as you're in your undergrad, and I wish I would have done more of this, is to accumulate like volunteer experience, accumulate work experience, and research. If you're gonna do research, that's something, definitely get involved, even if it's just like an hour here or an hour there. It's definitely a good way to explore what you really want to do, and just to solidify that before you make that big leap and start graduate school. So I think it was you that was saying about the organization. Yes, that is so important. I know that one of the schools that I was applying to, I missed the deadline, and that was like my number one, and I was so upset. So for me, like, organization is key, because the programs, once you miss the deadline, it's till next year. So definitely. Yeah, and just trust yourself, guys. The payout is worth it. Like, graduate school is awesome. I love it. Like, definitely want all of you to get there. So again, with the linkage programs, Western University, Cal State Dominguez, UCI, of course, Cal State University Fullerton, you can find the partners requirements table for their programs. We have it in the back there. We also have it on Titanium, but I just wanted to give you kind of an overview of the type of masters or doctorates that we have at each program. Any questions as of now? No? Okay. So, applying. Now, this is a step, and I know I've said this like 3 times, but I can't stress it enough. Be on top of the different program deadlines. Stay organized, plan ahead. Like I said, I use a spreadsheet and a planner. As it says but I use both. This is what I was talking about, a little bit about, things that take time. You want to notify your letter of recommendation writers 6 to 8 weeks ahead of time. I'm only saying this because some people will be really good about it and email you right away, but some people won't. And it just depends. I mean, the people that I asked are professionals, they're busy, they have families, they have lives. So sometimes they can't get around to it and you're kind of left hanging, which is stressful. But also, don't be afraid to write follow-up emails and say, hey, I'm so sorry, maybe you didn't see my first email, if they take a really, really long time. Definitely utilize the Writing Center for personal statements. They're a great resource. And where are they located, Erin? They're located in the library. I actually have been there once and I totally forgot where it was. So yeah, I would definitely utilize the Writing Center. They're a great resource. And if the school is on a rolling basis acceptance, which some are, I would apply early. Definitely. Okay, timeline. So this is the timeline that I came up with for graduate school. So starting here, so junior year, fall semester, this is when I would recommend to start. Maybe it seems a little early. It's not. It's definitely not. You need to give yourself enough time to gather all of your components, like I said, and like all of the key documents and the test scores. They can all take a long time to process. And you know, starting this early will also give you a sense of what kind of gaps you have in your resume or your CV and where you can fill that. So if you say, oh wow, maybe I don't have a lot of work experience, maybe I can, you know, take this year and maybe get a little bit of work experience so that it does look better on my CV and that it looks like that helps me become a more competitive candidate. So at this point, it's junior year, fall semester, research your graduate programs, request information from them, make sure that you know the admission requirements and prerequisites. You can definitely use our requirements table. Look into different scholarship programs. You guys would be so surprised to see how much free money there is out there. You just gotta look for it. I know some of my friends, they have gotten their school paid for completely just by, you know, by searching for scholarships, applying for grants and stuff like that. So you'd be surprised. Think about faculty and employers who could write letters of recommendation. Start thinking of people that you've made connections with in your undergrad, so now, and think, oh, would this person be able to write me a strong letter of recommendation? You want to ask somebody that has a good sense of who you are, of how you work, so that they can write you a strong one. Anybody can write you a letter of rec, but what they really want to see is somebody who really knows your worth and what you can do. So, as you guys may know, we do have an Allied Health Academy pre-grad school application. Definitely recommend doing that. It already passed for this year, but for next year, definitely. Start getting familiar with the GRE. You guys all know what the GRE is? Okay, awesome. So, actually, Allied Health Academy covers the GRE prep course fee. Let me tell you guys, that is really expensive, and Allied Health Academy will you know, they will cover it. That's really awesome. It's really, I took it, not the same program. I took mine in Oregon, but it was pretty helpful. Mine was, I think it's similar to yours, 4 hours for 4 sessions. That's how mine was, at least.
Here it's 5 hours for 4 Saturdays.
Yeah. And it seems lengthy, but you learn a lot. And I believe you get I got the book. I think that you guys also get the book also. Yeah.
You get a book. I just found out a couple of weeks ago that it's not the ETS book.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
It's another book, but we do have the ETS one here. Someone borrowed it because she's going to take it next week. But we typically have books available here for you to look at.
Yeah, and I actually think I have one. I'm going back to Oregon, so I might just bring it back for me so I can put it here too. So, yeah, start getting familiar with the GRE because it is a 5-hour exam. Eventually, it's expensive, so you just want to take it one time and be done with it. So start early. I think the most important thing for the GRE for me was just really getting to know what the test was like. The content wasn't difficult. It was just how it's organized and also the time. It's timed. So for me, when I saw the little timer go down, that created a lot of anxiety for me. So I needed to practice a lot at home. I would time myself and try and write the essays as fast as I could, in, you know, as best as I could. So yeah, I mean, but honestly, you do it, it's done, and then you move on, and then it's just one component. It's not everything. So okay, so fall of senior year. At this point, you would probably want to sign up and register for the GRE. Make a schedule for the deadlines. You know, this is just a reoccurring, like you always want to be on top of it and always have it in your planner or whatever works for you. Ask the letter of recommendation writers to start your letters. work on your personal statement, which, you know, also takes a while because, well, at least mine did. Prepare your resume. Know that FAFSA opens in October. It already passed, but next year it will open.
No, I don't think it's closed.
No, I'm saying it's not closed. I think it closes in March, but next year it will also open in October. You want to file your FAFSA and have your financial aid report sent to all the schools that you plan to go to. And if you don't, it's okay. It doesn't really matter what you put down, but you do want to at least have a good idea. Submit all your documents to your school. This will always be done through the computer. Some programs like public health programs, they actually have another system. So you also want to be aware of that maybe you will have to turn in your documents in 2 separate electronic systems, one for your school and one for your major, your program.
So I know that Common Disorders has SIDCAS, OT has OTCAS, and PT has PTCAS. I don't know whether the counseling or MSW programs have something.
Definitely something, I'll look into that for sure. And Masters of Public Health has SOFAs if anybody was thinking about going that route. Okay, so springs of senior year. This is the waiting game. This is the part where you're kind of, you've submitted everything, you're kind of ready to go, and now you're just hoping to hear back soon. So this is the point where you would write a thank you card. It's always a good idea. I think it's professional and it's courteous, just to thank your letter of rec writers for the work that they've done, because you know those kind of things do take time and it's out of the goodness of their hearts. Finish your undergrad program, obviously. Keep your grades up, as I said, because that GPA is going to matter. And if you're not accepted, just keep trying. This is something Erin and I were talking about. Like, not everybody gets accepted the first time. I've had 5 friends last year that were applying to graduate schools. Only 2 got in, and the others did not. But they are actually just reapplying this next fall. So, you know, it's not for it doesn't happen for everyone the first time, and that is totally okay. You know, if you don't get in the first time, it's a good idea to maybe ask the school what can make you a better applicant for the next round. And sometimes I think that they like to see that because they know they can see that you want to improve and that you're persistent and that you won't stop until you get there. So I think this is a little, yeah. Okay, so the Career Center. The Career Center is also another resource. They offer resumes, CV cover letter development, statement of purpose review. They will also do like mock graduate school interviews, and LinkedIn creation and development and salary negotiation. So these are just a few of the things that the Career Center offers. We also have the financial literacy workshop coming up on tomorrow from 1 to 3 in this room. So you guys might want to join us for that. So my question for you guys, what steps do you guys plan to take next? Now that you've kind of gotten some tips and some advice on graduate school applications, do you guys plan to take next? Anyone in the
The research.
You're gonna start your research?
Yeah, like on different schools. So last semester, I went through Santa Ana College. I went to UC Berkeley, Davis, Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, and Santa Clara. So
nice.
So
you went to you already
just
went on campus and kind of felt it out yourself.
So now, like, I plan to look more into it and see what kind of programs they have, and
it's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna look back into my paperwork that we had to do research on it.
Perfect. I think that's a really good idea. I'm the type of person that I need to be in the environment to see if it's something that I'm interested in and that I want to do. So awesome. You're gonna research your schools. Anybody else?
I think everyone should say one thing.
Yeah, guys.
what are you gonna do now? Like now that you have all this info in your head. And by the way, this PowerPoint is available to you, so in case you want to go back. Look into scholarships. Smart.
Just go around here.
All right, we'll start with you.
I'm sorry, because like there's a lot of things going through my head right now.
Oh, it's
I'm
okay.
just, like,
Because
so I'm just thinking about just like OT internships to have a reference for my OT, like because for OT you need a reference that has seen you in like an OT
right.
environment. So
Nice. So start thinking about who you're gonna ask for that letter.
yeah, I have already a connection with my siblings. They go to an OT, like it's the same OT place that's been like since I was little. Like I've been there since I was little, and they're still going there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and they actually like helped me like by like giving me a list of like schools to go to. So
Oh wow.
yeah, I was like my brother's their OT, so yeah. So she's
Very
like seems
nice.
interested in helping me out.
That's great.
So yeah.
Do you also volunteer there?
Not yet, but I'm thinking about it because it's here in Fullerton, so like that would make it a lot more helpful, so like
Yeah.
easier.
I think the letters that come from the OTs or PTs, not only are they supposed to have a relationship with you, but preferably with supervising powers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Are you planning to start a spreadsheet with the timeline and date?
Yeah, smart. That's definitely helpful.
I should start by looking at what schools offer for that.
Nice.
I used to go pre-recs.
You know, prereqs. Nice.
I was thinking of building relationships with, like for me, physical therapists, because I used to volunteer at St. Jude, but then I stopped, so I'm like, maybe I should go back.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's good.
I was late, so.
Oh. I was just asking, like, what plans, you're interested in graduate school, what steps do you plan to take next?
Oh, looking at the prereqs for sure, and then just looking at the overall environment of the school.
Yeah, definitely the school culture and all that.
And volunteer, and do research on the schools.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you. Do you guys have, do you guys have any questions? That's my office. I'm here 20 hours a week. If you see me, please feel free to stop me and ask me any questions. As you know, I just went through this and now I'm in it. So I have a few tips, and I'm hoping I can give you some good advice for your path.
Do you have questions right now?
So I have one like it's kind of like very like specific to my own situation. So I don't know if it would apply to everybody in the room, but like how early should or like how long should you have like the with your supervisor before you like ask them to do because like I have like it's set to like a year in advance to let your references know, but like right now I'm already at the year point and I don't have that OT, so I'm like I don't know.
So you're asking how much experience do you think that or how much time do you think that you should have spent with somebody like an OT, for example, supervising you before you ask them for a letter?
Yeah.
I would say at least a year, but I think that varies because I know that some people have asked for letters of rec from like employers that they've been with for less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. What would you guys say in your experience? I would say minimally of a year.
Yeah, a minimum of a year, but like knowing that you're also college students and might not have those relationships, I would say at least one semester. If you're asking a professor, I mean, it'd be nice if you had at least one class with them. If you have like more than that, or if you continue that relationship after the class has ended, that's usually helpful. so that it's more than just one class. I think with OT and PT schools, sometimes there's a minimum number of hours that they require, and so I would check in with that school to find out what are the minimum hours that they require, and then probably base it off of that. Like if you are with someone for a whole year, but you're only doing like 1 hour a week, versus if you had a summer intensive and it was 10 weeks, but you were there like 10 hours a week, like that might have that. It's not really about the duration that they've known you, but the intensity, like the quality of that relationship, right? So those are some different things to keep in mind.
Yeah, how long did it take you from like start to finish to do the whole application?
Well, let's see. Like 4 to 5 months. But I was working at the same time, and I had no
Guidance.
yeah, I had no guidance like whatsoever. So yeah, I think that you guys have a lot of resources. Please use them, because I was like in Oregon in a small town and really stressed out and didn't know what to do. And because it was a small town, my GRE dates, for example, this is just one aspect of it. To take the GRE, I had to like drive to the big city, and then like if I wanted to take it in my town, it was like once a month that they would have it at like a special place. So yeah, I mean, it really depends, but that's how long it took me.
I took more than a year because I took the GRE the year before I applied. I was also working full time, so I wanted to spread that out so that I wasn't like studying the same time that I was like writing the same purpose and like completing all the applications. There are some pros and cons to that. The pro of taking the GRE the same time as you apply is that you get to send your scores to up to 4 schools for free. Otherwise, it's like
It's $25, and it's a little bit silly because it's just scores, but you do have to pay for them. So, for example, if you send your 4 free scores to schools that, this is why it's important to research your schools, to schools that you later decide that you don't want to apply to, you just lost $25. So research your schools, yeah, and then it's an additional.
And then I also, in that year prior, I attended information sessions and things like that, so that I had an idea of what they're looking for, so that I could spend that next year. Like, okay, they want volunteer, or they want experience of me being in the community. I don't have that. Let me go and like volunteer for this project somewhere, right? So you can take that time. How many folks in here are juniors? Okay, and then younger sophomore. All right, cool. And then you're graduating, hopefully. So I think like junior year, really spend time getting internships, getting those experience, so that you have something to write about when it comes to your time to write your statement.
What does the GRE consist of? Like, what kind of exam is it?
So it's 2 essays.
Okay.
It's math and English. Math and English. That's what it is.
I had a question about the GRE. Like when's the next date? Because that's actually what I actually want to do, like right, like as soon as I can.
You mean, do you want to register for the GRE exam?
Like I want to take the classes so I can.
Oh, the prep course?
Yeah, prep course, so I can.
Well, when is the next prep course?
The next prep course starts at the start of next semester, so the last week of January, and it goes for 4 weeks. I think they skip President's Day. We do not have the next application up yet, but it'll probably be sometime, well, I guess it has to be December, probably first or second week of December, so that at least you know before the break if we'll be coming back and doing that.
Okay, so like after I take the prep course, then I would
Register for the
Okay, and when are the dates for the GRE or like?
They have them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way that, and I didn't even realize that, but that makes a big difference. Emily was saying that in her small town, it was only once a month.
Okay.
Here, there's dates happening like every day, but it makes a difference like where you have to go to do it and how far in advance do you register. Because this is a popular time right now, things are probably all booked for this month and next month, right? So it actually doesn't hurt to register several months in advance to make sure that you have a spot. For me, I took mine over in Rancho Cucamonga because that was close to me. But when I took it the first time, it was over in Culver City area. I'm pretty sure they have something in Southern California. And I will mention that they actually have Sunday dates, I believe. Well, I mean, they have dates kind of throughout, but you don't have to like go on a Saturday.
Do they have like the GRE like have accommodations?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, you have to let them know ahead of time
Okay.
and show your paperwork and.
Before like
Yeah.
register?
I would,
Or when you're
if I were you, I would contact, there's an email that you can contact if you have needs accommodations,
Mhm.
and they will let you know exactly what the next steps are.
Okay.
On that note, I would also encourage you all to contact financial aid office because you can get a fee reduction, I believe. So typically, to register for the exam, it's $205. I think if you have the fee reduction, it goes down to something like $95. So contact the financial aid office. I know it does take some time for them to give you the form process.
It does, it takes, I think, like 4 weeks, something like that. So,
definitely don't wait until the last minute for that.
no. Save yourself a little money. Same thing with the school program applications. Sometimes they take a while because you have to provide, some type of paperwork. So do that early too. I would just do that for all the programs. Once you decide where you're applying, make it one of the components to just find out about the fee reduction. It's worth it.
And then you'll also have to send like official transcripts from all of the places where you've been to. So if you're a transfer student, sending over your community college transcripts as well.
Right, and even if you took one course from community college, you need to provide that transcript. Can you tell it happened to me? $10 for one course for a piece of paper.
Any other questions? I know it's a lot to process, right? But I think Emily did a great job of kind of like breaking it down, like, okay, junior year do this, senior year do that. But I think whatever you use to keep yourself organized, like put it in there. We were just talking yesterday with someone who was like, oh yeah, I'll do it over the summer. And then here we are in November and she hasn't gotten started on her statement. So definitely like try to incorporate that as much as you can. There's also these things, the career guides from the Career Center. And I think they also had something in here too, right?
They do, they have like their own timelines.
Yeah, so I think using the Career Center and using the Prezi that Emily put together as a guideline would be really helpful. So,
Yeah, it's exciting. Any others?
do you want to see?
Guys, it's worth it. It's a lot of work, but once you're there and you get that letter, you get that email, you get that letter in the mail, it's like, yes, I made it. I'm in graduate school, one step closer to my dreams, So.
I will share a little bit about the letter of recommendation process as well. We hope that you all decide to request a letter of recommendation from us. Granted, we know that you should have one from a professional, one from a professor, and we would kind of be like that additional letter, right? So what we've been doing is having 2 calls for applications, one in the fall for spring applications, and then one in the spring for summer applications. The summer applications are typically the OT and PT ones because that's when their applications are. So that whole process looks very similar to the pre-grad school app. For those of you who have filled that out or seen that, we basically are trying to recreate the grad school application process. So we ask for different experiences that you've had, clinical, research, community, on campus, other things like that. So start thinking about those things. We also ask for a draft of your statement of purpose. We also ask for a short biography for you to explain like what has your upbringing been like, and how has that kind of like influenced you. This might be different than what you put for the statement of purpose, but at least it gives us an idea of what you've been through and how resilient you are, right? And so after you submit that to us, and so this year it was actually due at the end of October. So you'll notice that that's much earlier than the actual deadlines for the programs. And so that kind of forces you to have your stuff ready early. So please, please, please don't miss out on a letter from us because you weren't prepared, because you have like all of these months right now to prepare. A committee reviews it, then we give you feedback. So we aren't just giving you a letter, we're giving you feedback overall on your application, like, oh, maybe you should retake the GRE, or, oh, do you have any research opportunities that you can get, become a part of? And then we also do a very in-depth statement of purpose workshop where we'll outline like, these are the things that you need to make sure you include. Is this reflected in your paper? And doing a peer review with someone else to read their stuff. And you can give each other feedback. It's actually pretty cool. So I will also add that we are reimbursing graduate application fees. So not the GRE exam, not the transcripts, but that fee to actually apply to schools that each school will charge you. We can reimburse that up to a limit. So we probably won't do it if you're applying to 20 different schools, but within reason, well, we can reimburse that. So there's a lot of different resources for you to take advantage of, but we will not force you to take advantage of them. So it's on you to make sure that you're meeting the deadlines.
Any more questions? Okay, well, thank you everyone, and thank you Emily for Grad School 101. We're gonna have, like I said, our de-stress program with CAPS here from Cal State Fullerton come and do a workshop on how to de-stress. So who's staying for that actually? Sam Chokin.